Welcome. In front of me is a Huawei Nova 11i, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick overview of this phone. So anyway, without further ado, let's just get straight into the box. Now, in the typical Huawei fashion, we get this little pen flip right here that whatever you can download on their dedicated store, you can just get from another device that has it, like any older device that either from Huawei still had the Play Store, or maybe you just have a lying device, Android, that you can install the phone clone app and just move the apps that you can't access from the app gallery to this one. It's basically a circumvention of a problem that was created by them by just being, well, scummy and trying to gather a little bit too much. So anyway, apart from that, in the box we also have a case. We also have a charger. This is a 40-watt charger, which you can maybe see it right here at the very top. Don't know. But yeah, it's a 40-watt charger. And then we got a Type A to Type C charging cable. So, go Type A and Type C. And that's all we have in a box. So, moving on to the actual phone itself. I'll just lay down the parts that came with it. There we go. Right here you can see a very minimal amount of bezels. Only at the bottom we have a little bit of a thicker one. Kind of subtracts from the just insanely clean look of it. Almost bezel-less, I would argue. So yeah, the display right here, quickly going into it, is a IPS LCD display. It's a 90 Hz refresh rate, so it does have a little bit more smoothness than like a typical 60, but it's still a little bit further out from the typical 120 that became more of a standard nowadays. And it is a 6.8-inch display with 90% screen to body ratio. So yeah, here we have a just insane percentages. So super small bezels. One of the smallest ones that I've seen in a while, especially at a device that is not necessarily a flagship. And in terms of the resolution, this is a 1080p by 2388 pixels and puts it at 385 pixels per inch. So the display right here is pretty good. The only thing, it's just an IPS LCD and goes only up to 90 Hz, which those two are just a little bit of a drawback, but not a negative, I would argue. Now, flipping it over to the back, we have a dual camera setup. And the main sensor right here will be a 48 megapixel wide sensor, and then below that we have a shed camera, aka 2 megapixel depth sensor. So yeah, probably don't use that one. It will most likely be utilized in portrait photos to try to create a fake bokeh effect, but usually it just completely messes that up and the photos will look worse than they should. So probably don't use it. Now at the front we have a 16 megapixel selfie, which you can see right up here. So yeah, that's a wide sensor as well. Now with either front or back, the maximum refresh rates and resolutions you can shoot at is a 1080p 30 frames. so both front and back. Now moving on into the internals right here, we have a Snapdragon 680 4G. We have 8 gigs of RAM, which this is the only RAM you can get. And in terms of storages, we have, if I can actually find it, which I for some reason can't. Oh, there we go. 128 gigs of storage with 8 gigs of RAM. So this is the only variant of this device. There is no other options with more storage or more RAM. So yeah, this is as far as you can get. And it looks like we do have expandable storage because this tray is quite wide. Let's see if I can... Oh, there we go. Never mind, we don't have expandable storage. Unless Huawei included their nano memory, which doesn't really specify if they did or not. And this tray doesn't have any space to put if it supports nano mem or not. So I'm just gonna assume this is just dual SIM support, which is just underwhelming considering we only have 128 gigs of storage in here, which is what most of the phones nowadays come at minimum with. So a little bit disappointed right here. Now moving further on into the build quality, we have a plastic frame, plastic back, fingerprint sensor on the side that doubles as a power button. Then we got a volume rockers. At the top we just have our little grill for our speakers, microphone, the tray, nothing, and at the bottom Type-C, microphone and speaker grills. And that's basically it. Now, I also didn't mention the battery size right here. So we have a 5000 milliamp hour battery in here. So that's a pretty good battery size. And the nice 40 watt charger. So we should be able to top out this device relatively quickly. Now it's advertised that it will charge your device to 60% in 30 minutes. So that is pretty good. Now the last thing will be the price, which it comes at about 280 euros. And to be completely honest, I would say that that is a little bit too much. Because after all, at the end of the day, this is a Huawei device that won't have access to Play Store. And because of that, obviously, you might have some problems. Now I'm gonna do something really quickly. Check out, because I unboxed a device not too long ago, literally the previous video, which was one of the better devices that I have come across in a while. So I want to check something, and yeah, it looks like the price there was incorrect. So I came across the, what was it? A Poco F5, that was the device. And it said that the price was about 350 euros, though that is not correct considering on Polish websites where I am from. This device is closer to 400 to 500 euros, but in any case, it was a fantastic device that will blow this device out of the water. And if it was actually 350, an actual price difference, well, not price difference, but price difference would have been at $70, I would say that you should save up and go for that one, but it is significantly more, which does change obviously the overview of this. So anyway, that being said, I would probably still recommend looking for something not Huawei, just because it will give you a better versatility, while Huawei might offer good hardware with really nice looking device. It does have one of the smallest bezels that I have seen in a long time. It doesn't offer great software. Hardware is okay, software not so much. And because of that, I would probably recommend looking at some other options just so you can get a better software experience in your device, which arguably sometimes might be more important than the hardware itself, because software can be kind of changed, hardware cannot, which does, well, actually suggest otherwise, but let's be honest, Huawei won't be changing their software anytime soon because it's not like they can. So that leads you to only changing software in this case, and maybe sacrificing on the hardware, because other devices with, well, access to Play Store will give you much significantly better versatility over this device. But to have a more fair approach to it, I'm gonna sum it up into this quick kind of overview. So hardware here is really good, and if you don't mind adding some hassle to using your device when you encounter apps that just don't exist on the App Store, or App Gallery as they call it, you would basically be forced to grab another device and clone them from that other device to this one, assuming the other device has access to Play Store, which, like I said, adds hassle and also requirement for another device to be used to its fullest potential. But if you don't mind that initial, let's call it a setup, then hardware here is good. Now, obviously, if you want your software to be running perfectly and you don't want to lose anything that other devices have to offer, like a typical Android device with all access to like Play services and anything, then obviously this device won't be for you. And that's as simple as I can put it. So with that being said, the choice at the end of the day will be yours, because you obviously will know what you're looking for. So yeah, that's basically it. Now, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.